Hello and welcome to Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. Well, hello, Mrs. Farmer. How did you get here?
I thought you were cooking, so I always follow you around.
You're looking ravishing today, as usual.
Thank you. I like your hair.
Oh,
it's growing out nicely.
You had to go to the hair, didn't you?
I did.
You know what? We were looking for something to do a couple weeks ago, and random. We fly by the seat of our pants, but I saw under Kentucky festivals and events. At the time, we thought it was the Goetta Festival.
That's what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, I'm really stuck on traditions and Kentucky foods and so on and so forth. How in the world have I been on this planet over 50 years and not known anything about, not Goetta, but Goetta?
Yeah.
So guess what we did? We called Kelly, who just happened to be hanging out.
Right.
Talked to you, said, yeah, let's go to the Goetta Festival. Very shortly, once we got there, we found out it's not Goetta, and it's not Glier's who makes it. We had some pronunciation difficulties to begin with, but you know what? I'm so glad we went because this opened this huge door and all these opportunities to find out stuff about traditions in the northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area.
Right.
So let's start off today with the, not Goetta, but
Goetta
Festival in Newport. We were looking for things to do this weekend.
That's right.
And you know what? We're trying to beat the rain. We came all the way to Cincinnati, and something funny, the farther north you get, the more people seem to stay in the left lane and go really slow. It took us a long time to get here because
Yes, it did.
But anyway, we're in Newport. Now, today we're here to find out what this Goetta Festival is all about. Now, the best I can tell, there's a very particular family that came up here in the 1920s, started making this stuff. And we're going to find out, hopefully today, somebody can tell us some more history here because I'm fascinated by this whole German food process, the German influence around Cincinnati and northern Kentucky in particular. So this is the first stop on this journey. I would really like to come up here and start doing some in-depth stuff, plus Grippos.
It's up here.
We talked about that. We got to figure out something about Grippos.
There's good food in Cincinnati.
So let's go see if we can find out something about Goetta before the rain gets us. You're the guy I've been looking for. I don't know how I found you with that shirt.
That's right.
All right, let's talk about Goetta, the history of Goetta. It's right here, and I haven't tried it yet. But first, give me some history on the family, too.
It was a way that you took your meat and made it stretch a little bit farther. They would take their pork and beef, and they would add steel-cut oats to it, a little bit of spices and some onion, and they'd make the meat last a little bit longer in the families, for the families.
In what form do you buy it? In a roll like sausage?
You can buy it in a 1-pound roll. You can buy it in a mini slab or a full slab. You can buy them in patties and links and all kinds of different ways now. And now we've got a couple new products coming out, which is a Goetta slider kit, where you get the bun, the pickle, everything all in one kit, and the Goetta bite, which is our new appetizer, which is fantastic.
I'm looking at the shirt. I suppose this is the family coat of arms.
Yep, it's their crest. They did some research, went back and found that this was the family crest. So,
how long has this particular festival been going on here?
Well, this is our 17th year that we've done it now, and it started 17 years ago just as a little thank you to the customers. You know, it was Dan Glier. He wanted to say, you know, thank you. Here's something for you guys. We're gonna do this neat thing for you, and it blew up the first year. There was just overwhelming response. Then we've grown and grown and grown to what it is today. The largest festival down here, and we think we're the third largest in the city behind Oktoberfest and Taste of Cincinnati. So
how do you eat your Goetta?
I like it a lot of different ways, but my family, we have the sliders all the time. It's so simple. My kids love them. It's a little piece of cheese and put it on a bun. You don't even need anything else because it has such a great flavor that's it. It's ready to go.
Thank you so much for talking.
Absolutely.
I found the right guy.
I sure did.
Thank you so much. I don't even know what to say.
What is that? What's in that?
Because I love sausage, but it's sausage, and you can see the cut oats in there.
That's good.
I've never anything like it.
I haven't either. That's delicious.
It almost defies explanation. I don't know, but I want some more.
Okay.
Let's go get some more
I'm sorry.
food. There's so many places. Look here.
Okay.
Sauerkraut balls, Oktoberfest pretzels. Can you dig? Let's go get
Try
some
that.
more.
I can try that.
All right, we got to get a pretzel, obviously. We're having some German food. Then when the girls come, we're gonna Take an old recipe and make some pretzels with the granddaughters. What do you think? Good?
Yum. And make some dips. They'd love to make pretzels.
Wow, that was really good.
Yum.
What was your thoughts?
I love the food. I loved it.
It's absolutely delicious, and to have that little crunch of those oats in there,
Yum.
it's almost indescribable.
It's very good.
So if you got to get it, go to Glier's. I should have been a marketing
Yeah, you should
expert
have.
back
You
in the
should have.
1940s.
You should have.
All right, let's go to the truck before we get wet. All right, we hit this again, and then I hit the spicy.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
You couldn't stop eating it.
I couldn't stop eating the crunch. And it's not an overbearing crunch. It's not something
Right.
that hurts your teeth. It's just a nice
Right.
texture thing, which I thought you and I thought Kelly might not like because she's, it's all about the texture.
Right.
But everybody liked
We all loved it.
So then the fascination really began. I started looking about the German influences in northeastern Kentucky and Cincinnati from the 1830s to 1850s. And then I found out more about Glier's.
Mm-hmm.
And then I
Wonderful
thought,
people.
I wonder if there are any Gliers still making Goetta. The book just kept on
Right.
turning page after page, so we had to find out. You know what? Isn't it nice when you go someplace and the door is open for you and the welcoming committee was
Right.
there?
Very
Wonderful,
nice.
sweet family, great people, and you can tell there's great pride in their product.
We got to eat some while we were
got
there.
to eat some.
Fresh, wonderful.
Let's go to Glier's and find out more about not Goetta,
But Goetta.
Goetta. It's a Goetta factory.
That's right.
When you got to get some Goetta, go to Glier's. I still think they ought to use my marketing strategy. So here we have Dan, who is the Goetta guy.
Goetta
Now
guy.
you are Dan Glier.
Yes.
So
yes.
please tell us, if you will, how this thing got started, when it got started, the whole history.
The whole history. Okay. Dad grew up in a butcher family on his mother's side. His father was a violin maker, German. In fact, the family spoke German up until World War I.
Wow.
And came over from Germany, settled in a German community, which was Cincinnati at the time. Dad was told there's no future in the violin making business, get you another trade. So he grew up, started at 12 years old in the family butcher shop. Was drafted in World War II. And before that, he had apprenticed as a sausage maker at the H.H. Meyer Packing Company over in Cincinnati.
Aha.
Again, Meyer, good German name. So the Air Force put him into special units to do that kind of stuff. He wound up in England. But when he came back home, then he approached his brother and said, look, there's no way two families can get a good living out of a little retail store. You're going to need to find your own way.
Yeah.
He opened up a butcher shop. He and my mom opened up a butcher shop, and it had a sausage kitchen in the back, which was ideal for my dad. He had developed or begun developing his Goetta formula mid to late 30s. Then when he got his own butcher shop, he was able to create it. He said, I made Goetta in a 50-pound lard can. So that's how it got started,
Now, how-
1946.
Where did Goetta itself begin?
Goetta itself, Goetta, the name, is a corruption. It essentially says grits. We know that Goetta, of the type of product that was made here in Cincinnati, that was made in the Hanover, Westphalia area of Germany. It's kind of in the upper quadrant. Made there, probably, definitely not known as Goetta, but known probably as Grützwurst, or grits and sausage.
Gotcha.
So that's where it began. When groups of those immigrants came to Cincinnati, they brought those kind of products with them. It is a peasant food, or was, because you could take the scraps of the hog at killing time, mix it with some grain to extend it, and you could wind up with some pretty good, healthy product.
So it's filling. It's got some grain in it.
Yes.
It's got the meat itself. So at what point did this take off and become a staple?
Well, in the mid-60s, the United States Department of Agriculture was establishing what they called standards of identity. In other words, they took products and said, okay, this is what a wiener is, this is what a bologna is, this is what, so they restricted as to what you could call it when you made it. Goetta was one of those regional products that didn't have a standard of identity, and USDA established one. They used my dad's formula as the basis for the standard of identity. Now, it has some other things in it. For example, he uses only whole grain steel cut oats, but you could also use oatmeal if you wanted to use that under the standard of
Let's
identity.
talk about, for those who don't know, what is steel cut?
Steel cut. If you looked at a whole grain of oat, it looks somewhat like wheat or rice, all right? And then to steel cut it, you take essentially and blow it down a little tube and have a knife break it into 3 pieces. That's steel cutting the oat.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what happens in the factory.
Okay.
There's more than one room. What happens in here?
Yes. Goetta is a denatured product.
Meaning?
Denatured, cooked, partially cooked. That's our first and what we call parboil. You boil the meat off. Then we take the meats, grind them, mix them with the rest of the ingredients, the oats, the spices, the herbs, which is onion, fresh onion, and mix that all together and then stew it for hours until it gets ready. When you hydrate the oat, that's when you know it's done.
So we're going to go inside and take a look around and see all the process. The one guy in there, he was taking it and actually manually.
Yes.
It comes into a tube, it cuts it off, and he stacks it over, and the guys there pricing it. So this is still manually done.
Oh yes, yeah. It's still manually stirred. I mean, we don't have machines to stir. We got guys with big, strong shoulders mixing that Goetta.
Do you ever have a fear that it might get so popular you might not be able to keep up with demand?
Haven't made it there yet.
You hope to do that.
Hope
though.
to do that.
I hope we introduce a lot of people to this product. And where can you find it now? I know we found it in Frankfurt.
It's in most of the Krogers. We're in Meijer, we're in Walmart, many of them. We don't go too far south, but the Kroger stores are in all the way down to Nashville.
Thank you so much for sharing history with us today.
Thank you so
tradition,
much.
And gotta get some Goetta.
Gotta get it.
I don't know how in the world how many times have I walked by some Goetta
Right.
in the store?
You didn't know what it was, though, did you?
No, but how did I not know?
Yeah. Well, you do now.
How did I miss that? I grew up in Maysville. I was
Yeah.
just right on the edge there. Anyhow, now that we found it, I can't seem to get enough of it. So I was talking to Carrie back at the festival,
Okay.
and he mentioned sliders, and my little brain just started twitching. I thought, all right, I've got this, because my dad is the king of the sliders.
Right.
You know what's funny is the impact that sometimes we have on folks who watch the show. You don't realize that
Right.
until you're having a conversation with them. And we're out and about, and people say, hey, I made this recipe, and it's now a family favorite, and I made this in the Dutch oven. I was talking to John down at Camp on the Kentucky, and he said, we made 250 venison sliders that your dad made.
Those are good.
Dad.
Yeah.
It's,
you did.
everywhere I go, I talk to people who've had these sliders. Then he started talking about these things. Sliders.
Your new favorite?
Gotta get a Goetta slider. Man, they should have talked to me before they started the marketing
That's right.
campaign. So, Glier's, Goetta. I called them up and I said, where can I get this stuff? They said, it's in Frankfurt. You can get it in Frankfurt. So we went and got some.
Yeah, we did.
But you're so excited about your plates that
I
you don't
am.
even care about what we're cooking.
Look at these cute plates. Guess who got us these? Roddy and Lisa. Aren't they cute? Because they know how much I love Milty.
These are
So-
actually glass. They're not plastic.
Listen,
They're
I
not
like these. I
plastic.
have 4, but these 2 are these are my favorites right here. They look like, I'm gonna get Milty a hat like that for winter, and he's got these glasses.
Hey, we could get him an alpaca hat. For
We
winter.
could.
Yeah.
I thought you could serve your sliders on
He's
these.
kind of got his own hat already.
Right, these are for your sliders.
I'm excited.
Okay.
All right, I'm actually excited about the sliders, not so much about the plates.
Hey.
But thank you, Lisa, anyway. All right, now I'm not a Goetta cooking expert yet, but if you're doing sliders, you want it to be thin.
Right.
This is my method. I don't know how they do it, but here's what I found out earlier, because I tried these, and let me tell you what, delicious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this is a ceramic surface. All right, now I've been experimenting with this. If you have some kind of a griddle surface that's got a rough edge to it,
Right.
you don't want that. You got to have a surface that's smooth, because we tried it on a griddle that had a little,
Right.
no. You got to have a smooth surface. Now, I pounded that out before it was hot. So now I'm going to start the grill. Remember that we're doing sliders, so we want these fairly thin, but It's pork and it's oats. I think there's some beef in there and some other stuff. So remember that the oats are gonna pop. It'll shrink as it goes down. Then you can kind of shape it. Those guys were so intense when they were cooking that. I knew because of their very body language that they were really paying attention to some details there. And they had these out in perfect squares. I can't do that, and don't even want to try. But I'm going to shape these as we go along. It'll start to shrink up a little bit, and the smell that comes off of this when it's cooking. But you know, as kids, we all took our trips to Cincinnati when we were growing up. We'd go watch Cincinnati play ball. Now that was back in the day. Look at this picture right here, the Big Red Machine. I don't know if there'll ever be a baseball team like that was. And what was funny is we'd go see a Reds game, and us kids, you know, that was our school trip. And we'd all try to get the attention of the ball player, you know, if he's in, you know, left field or somewhere out there. We could actually yell, and when they turned around, and I yelled his name as loud as I could, and he turned around and waved.
Made your day.
And I realized that, you know, he wasn't this, you know, out of touch movie star. He was a guy who plays baseball who was nice enough to turn around and wave at a kid. All right, now look here. You know how those guys had that fancy square shape? I'm not timing it, but when it firms up enough to where you can flip it over.
Good job. Good job, good job.
Now,
that wasn't easy, was it?
that was not easy, but it's worth the finesse you have to put into it. That almost looks like a potato cake, doesn't it? When that other side gets done, imagine this, a little Hawaiian bun. So we cut this in half, cut this in half, and lay that in strips. But let's go ahead and put a little bit of
Mustard.
Weber's on here.
Do you want some pickles too?
Let me spread that around a little bit.
It's gonna be like 6 little sliders.
All right, you remember when we were doing the bone broth and I was talking about grippos? You can't believe the amount of people that said something about that's their favorite
They're the
barbecue
best,
potato.
the best.
How about when we go to Cincinnati, we look up grippos while we're up there?
Let's load up because Natalie's coming and she loves them.
It's true. All right, look here. Look at there.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that slider. Look at that. Does that not look like
That looks delicious.
something you'd pick up at the drive-through window? The consistency.
You could probably eat 100 of these, couldn't you?
Absolutely love that.
Pickle's good on it.
I don't know how I have not noticed this all my life. I've walked by this in the counter.
This is all you're gonna eat every day for lunch now, right?
Well, probably not,
Okay.
but I will on occasion. The consistency, the crunchiness, but it's not a hard crunch.
It is pretty good.
We were talking earlier, and I thought, how many different ways could we make this? Now, I'm sure they have recipes on their site, but
Right.
you start talking about your grandmother. While I'm eating all these, why don't you go bring out your other surprise?
All right, you know, you think about it, it's seasoned meat for you. You can do anything with it. So I made a couple things. I'll bring you out and see if you like them.
We got our Elmwood bag today, didn't we?
We did. We got peppers and zucchini.
So what did you do here?
Well, you know, grandmother used to make stuffed peppers. So I looked at her recipe. She used to take hamburger and onions and rice and season it. This is already seasoned. So I thought I'll just stuff it in the pepper. All right, and then I took tomatoes, because we got tomatoes in our bag too, chopped those up in my little chopper that guy got me, and put a little sugar on it and baked them. What do you think? So we got zucchini.
I think cut it up.
Stuffed
And the great thing
zucchini.
about it is the Goetta's already seasoned, so you didn't have to season the meat.
Right, I like that.
So this cooked at what temperature for how long?
350 for like an hour and a half. That's good. So it's like you don't need rice or anything. You got those oats.
It takes the flavor of that pepper real well.
I like the zucchini too.
That's good. And you got your filler in there already, so you don't need rice. Oh, that's really good. This
try the
is
zucchini.
not better than sliders, but man, it's close.
Wow.
Well, that's really good with that pepper.
I like that
really,
too.
really good.
That's the easy way to make stuffed peppers, isn't it?
Yes,
it's
it
all
is.
seasoned for you. I just threw it in the pepper and cooked it.
What a wonderful tradition. Families pass stuff down. Another tradition we have over the years has been going to the 127 yard sale. You never know what you're going to find.
That's right.
Oh my goodness, some of the silly stuff I brought home. But you meet some characters too, and you find some strange stuff. And I ended up with one of my little choo-choo trains. Now at the end of the show, you notice that our production sign it's a train. But
You
the
like
front of the
trains.
train is an old microphone from the 1930s. So I love that Art Deco period.
Yeah.
So I did find a little train,
You found some other stuff
and
too.
I do like the old trains, but let's go visit the 127 yard sale. We're here with Andrew. Look at this stuff he's got over here. This T-Rex. You think the grandbabies would like something like that? This is cool stuff. So you got somebody who makes this, and you take it around all over the place and sell it. How cool!
That is correct, because my talent is selling, not manufacturing.
Well, this is just something. Is this your first time here on the 127
This is my
yards?
first time on the 127. and I've just moved to this part of the country from Texas.
Well, you know what? This is some pretty cool stuff, and I bet you'll move a lot of it.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad you like it.
Well, you're the first person we've talked to today for the Country Kitchen, so say hello, Tim
Hello,
Farmer's
everyone.
Country Kitchen.
Hello, Farmer's Country Kitchen.
So have you had enough Goetta?
I have. We've been eating it all
I'm
day.
not.
Oh, okay. I'm good. I know you could keep
I'm
eating.
out of control and stuff, and I'm seeing some more sliders sitting right over there, which I'm going to
They're all
attack.
for you. That's right.
But you know what? This is another simple. This is so simple
Right.
that it's not really a recipe, but if you want to know more about it, where would you go?
I go to timfarmerscountrykitchen.com.
Would you really?
I do all the time. That's where I get all my recipes.
Recipes, how-tos. Let's make some more Facebook friends. What do you got to do to be our Facebook friend? It's very simple. Go to Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen Facebook page, hit like, and boom. You're on there. We talk, we share recipes. Every Monday, Kelly puts up a thing, what'd you cook this weekend? And people share what their recipes are and what they've done. We have a whole lot of fun there. So join us on our Facebook page by simply hitting like. Just because there's another slider sitting in front of my face, that mean I should eat it?
There's one missing.
Uh-huh. I know who got that one. Kelly. But Kelly made me a double, so I can't complain.
That's right. You can have both of them. I'm
So,
full.
so we don't chew with our mouths full, which Mom told me not to do.
Good boy.
Occasionally I mess up. We should probably go ahead and say it's all about
Good times
good friends.
and good eats.
See you next week with a brand new Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We might have to do some more exploring up around the Cincinnati area.
Good idea.
And right now I'm gonna eat this slider.
To order a cookbook, please call 502-319-0487 or email timfarmerck@gmail.com.